G'day everyone, and welcome to another edition of Chef Mooney, where we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. This is my second recipe I'm going to launch today. It's going to be the old-fashioned Irish stew. Now, there are plenty of recipes out there. This is how we used to make it, and I think a lot of people in Ireland just chuck anything into it. When we were growing up, it was a good filling meal because we were very poor. I did grow up in Ireland and for the first part of my life. So I do remember my mother making this recipe several times, and the reason why she made it is because it was inexpensive. Meat wasn't expensive back then, although it was the most expensive part of the meal. In comparison to today's value, it wasn't. Vegetables were quite inexpensive to come by, and of course we had lots of potatoes, and that was a good filler as well. So I'm going to just throw some ingredients together, and I'm going to keep it as simple and basic as what we used to have way back in the 70s when my mother used to cook it. So come along with me, let's go and celebrate St. Patrick's Day, the old Irish stew. Okay, so to make our stew, we're going to run through the ingredients. I've got 450 grams of diced shoulder lamb, and to that I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of flour just to thicken it as I brown the meat with a little bit of oil. We have got 1 onion. We've got one cup of onion, or 1 whole onion. 2 tablespoons of parsley, a tablespoon of tomato paste. And then over here we've got some carrots. We've got 2 cups of carrot, and right at the back there we've got some parsnips. We've got 3 cups of parsnip, 3 cups of potato, and 2 cups of swede right at the back there. And also we're going to use 3 cups of beef stock. So there's all your ingredients. You don't have to use these vegetables, you can just play around and use whatever vegetables you like. I'll run through them again. We've got the potato, the parsnip, the meat, the flour, the beef stock, parsnips, carrots, onion, parsley, tomato paste, and I'm going to use a touch of vegetable oil just to fry off the meat. I'm using today some shoulder lamb. You can use beef, or you can use mincemeat, or any meat that you like. Okay, so let's get this over to the stove and we'll start frying it up. Okay, so I've got my meat here. The first thing we're going to do is going to season with a little bit of pepper. And I like quite a lot of pepper, so just however much pepper you like. And you can adjust the seasoning at the end. A little bit of salt. Mix in your tablespoon of flour. And what you want to do is just give it all a good coating. Now onto a medium-high heat. You want to get your pan nice and hot, and then you want about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Okay, the pan is nice and hot, the oil is hot, and we'll start putting our meat in. I'm going to toss the rest of the flour in there, and let that sear on one side till it's nice and golden brown. Okay, it's been cooking for a couple of minutes now on this, just one side. I'm just going to turn it around so the other side gets cooked. You can see the beautiful caramelization of that meat. Okay, now the next step, we're going to put the onions in. And just let those cook a little bit. You can add garlic to this. We didn't use garlic when my mother used to make this because it just wasn't around, or I don't think she knew too much about cooking with garlic in those days. But so I don't know, I only experienced adding garlic to things once I started experimenting in myself. Next we'll add the carrot. I'm now going to add the tomato paste. and I want to cook that through on the bottom of the pan so it just cooks through a little bit more. And next we'll add our potatoes and give that a mix around. I've just added the swede, followed by the parsnip, some parsley, and now the beef stock, 3 cups. Just add that in. There you go. We're going to let this cook for around about an hour and a half, up to 2 hours, until all that meat is nice and tender. So we'll come back after that step and we should be ready to serve. Okay, so it's been cooking now for about 2 hours on a very gentle simmer. I've got the lid on very tight, and all the steam and condensation from there has gone back into the stew. So now we're going to have a look and see. Okay, so the lamb is perfectly cooked. It's got a beautiful flavour to it. And all the vegetables are nice and soft, but they're not overcooked. Although it's been cooking for the best part of 2 hours. We've got swede in there, parsnip, carrot. It's just, in my view, a really healthy, such an inexpensive meal to make. And when I smell this dish, my memories come back of my childhood, and I really enjoy these recipes, which is what cooking is all about. Give it a go, guys. I hope you try this recipe. Adapt it to, make it your own. If you don't want to add carrot, if you don't want to add parsnip, add some other vegetables. Play around with it. And if you want to add a little bit more stock to the dish, go ahead and do that. But as you can see, that is a perfect consistency. It's just a really, it's a cross between a stew and a soup, I guess. Really nice consistency, look at that. Well, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that recipe. I'm going to try and get a couple more up there before St. Patrick's Day. You have yourselves a great week, and until my next recipe, take care.